welcome back to Rasan's ASMR Journey. I'm Rasan, and I'll be doing the journey. And today I want to bring to you 50 facts about the movie Gremlins, because it's one of my favorite movies, and also I heard that they were trying to make a Gremlins 3 possibly, and I'm kind of excited about the prospect of that. So let's get right into these facts. Gremlins was released on June 8, 1984. It was directed by Joe Dante. The screenplay was written by Chris Columbus. Steven Spielberg served as the film's executive director. The movie is a blend of horror, comedy, and Christmas movie tropes. The protagonist, Billy Peltzer, is played by Zach Galligan. Phoebe Cates plays Kate Berenger, Billy's girlfriend. The cute creature, Gizmo, is a mogwai. Gizmo means a thingamajig or gadget in English slang. The mogwai comes with 3 strict rules: no bright sunlight, don't get it wet, and never feed it after midnight. The after midnight rule leads to chaos when Stripe, a gremlin, is born. Stripe is the main antagonist gremlin. The gremlins were designed by Chris Wallace and Rick Baker's special effects team. Gizmo was operated by puppeteers using rods, cables, and animatronics. The film has become a cult classic. The Gremlins were inspired by mischievous folklore creatures said to sabotage machines. Joe Dante wanted the movie to be scary yet funny for families. The Gremlin design was inspired by nightmares. There's a comic book series based on the movie. Gizmo was primarily voiced by Howie Mandel. The Gremlin sequence at the diner shows them singing and dancing, highlighting dark humor. The film is set in Kingston Falls, a fictional town. The character of Randall Peltzer, Billy's father, is played by White Axton. The film satirizes suburban life and consumerism. There was controversy over the film being too scary for children. Gremlins is considered one of the reasons the PG-13 rating was introduced in 1984, which is something I did not know. Number 27. The Gremlins' destruction of the town is reminiscent of classic monster films. Number 28. Joe Dante made subtle nods to other Spielberg films like E.T. Number 29. Stripe's distinctive white mohawk differentiates him from other Gremlins. Number 30. Gremlins' chaos is contrasted by the warmth of Billy's family. 31. Gizmo has multiple animatronic models for different scenes, including a baby version. The Gremlins wreak havoc on electronics and TVs, a common theme in folklore. The Christmas setting was chosen to heighten the contrast between joy and terror. Gremlins blend creature horror with slapstick comedy. Joe Dante had previously directed The Howling in 1981, another creature feature. Stripe was performed by multiple puppeteers for complex movements. The gremlin language includes screeches, growls, and gibberish. The movie features practical effects instead of CGI, which wasn't widely used yet. Gizmo's fur had to be replaced several times due to wear during filming. Many gremlin stunts were filmed in slow motion for comic effect. The movie was shot primarily on location in California. Several Easter eggs appear like references to old monster movies. The film inspired a 1990 animated TV series, Gremlins, the animated series. There's a Gremlins 2, the New Batch sequel released in 1990. The movie uses horror movie tropes to satirize 1980s culture. The Gremlins' destructive antics echo World War II era gremlin folklore and aviation. Number 47, Gizmo was made to look more cute and innocent to contrast with the chaos. Number 48, the song in the montage with Gremlins dancing is Come to the Mardi Gras. The production included over 100 puppeteers for various Gremlin scenes. Number 50, despite its dark humor, the film ends on a hopeful note with Gizmo safe. Now, let's do 50 behind the scenes trivia facts about how they actually made the Gremlins. 1. Gizmo's puppet required 5 different versions for various actions: walking, talking, singing, and facial expressions. Howie Mandel performed Gizmo's voice live on set, which helped actors react naturally. The Gremlins were primarily animatronic, not computer generated. Stripe's face was controlled by up to 4 puppeteers at once. Each Gremlin puppet could take 4 to 5 hours to rig before shooting. Some Gremlin heads were built to explode into slime for the food fight scene. The slime was made from cellulose and food coloring. Non-toxic, but messy. It took me a minute for that word, guys. Number 8, puppeteers had to crawl under tables or behind walls to manipulate the Gremlins. Many puppeteers wore black velvet suits to stay hidden on camera. Joe Dante wanted the Gremlins to have expressive, almost human-like gestures. Gizmo's eyes were mechanically operated for blinking and pupil dilation. The Mogwai fur was real rabbit fur for a more natural look. The Gremlin that flips the diner switch was operated by a rod that couldn't be seen. The Gremlin puppets were fragile, often breaking after a day of shooting. The dancing Gremlin sequence took 2 weeks to film. Multiple puppets were needed to portray different Gremlin sizes. Stripe's teeth were individually sculpted for each puppet. The filmmakers studied lizards and primates to create realistic Gremlin movements. Puppeteers used string rods and air bladders to animate facial expressions. Some puppets had removable heads to swap out for stunt sequences. To make a Gremlin jump, puppeteers used spring-loaded mechanisms. Billy's cat, Mohawk, was played by a real cat and had to be careful around animatronics. Gizmo's fur was brushed daily to keep it clean for continuity. The Christmas tree destruction scene used miniature models for wide shots. The filmmakers built an entire street set in the studio for Gremlin mayhem. Animatronic Gremlins were often controlled by 2 people, one for the arms and one for the head and eyes. Some Gremlins were remote controlled for tricky movements. Stripe's Mohawk was made from painted foam glued to the puppet. Joe Dante kept slap sarcastic humor in mind while filming horror sequences. The rain scene where gremlins multiply involved hundreds of puppets in small tanks. Puppeteers communicated via walkie-talkies when multiple gremlins were on set. Some of the more aggressive gremlin scenes used mechanical rigs and stunt doubles. The gremlin explosions involved compressed air for dramatic effect. The diner scene had over 20 gremlin puppets operating simultaneously. That's a lot going on there. Joe Dante studied cartoons like Looney Tunes for timing comedic sequences. Smart study. Many gremlin stunts were filmed in slow motion to emphasize their antics. Some puppeteers had to insert rods directly into puppet mouths for lip movements. Gizmo walking sequences were mostly puppeteers on stilts behind sets. The gremlin puppets were designed to be expressive but durable, a tricky balance. Stripe's sinister grin was operated with tiny levers and pulleys inside the head. Puppeteers sometimes dressed as regular humans to interact naturally with actors. The water makes them multiply effect was done with mechanical splashes and multiple puppets. Some gremlins were made from foam latex to allow flexible movement. The production had over 100 crew members dedicated to puppets and special effects. 45. The toy shop scene, excuse me guys, stomach there. The toy shop scene had small animatronic props for gremlins to interact with. Gizmo's singing in the film requires synchronization with Howie Mandel's pre-recorded voice. Some puppeteers used gloves with rods attached to simulate gremlin hands. 48 gremlin claws were made from painted resin for safety on set. 49 animatronic gremlins could sometimes malfunction, leading to unexpected on-set comedy. And 50, the combination of puppetry, practical effects, and live-action acting made Gremlins a masterclass in pre-CGI creature filmmaking. And I think that's so cool, doing all that practical effects. Alright guys, well, that was actually some behind-the-scene facts and some regular facts. So we got 50 and 50. We've got 100 facts there. And I want to thank you all for listening. And I hope you subscribe and